Hi guys, I am Ayush and I work as a software engineer for Complere Infosystem, and today I will be teaching you how to create a simple web page using HTML, CSS and Bootstrap. So let's start. First of all, I've created a folder for my project. My project is going to be Tinder. It's a Tinder website or a clone of Tinder website or the clone of Tinder website's homepage, and it's for dogs. So just to make this project a little bit more fun to make, I have did this. So in the TinDog folder, I have a folder for my CSS file and my link images file, and I will provide the link to all these images in the description down below, so you can get the images from there. So let's start. So first, create a index.html file, as well as go inside the CSS folder and create a CSS file, styles.css. Okay, so touch. Now let's start with the uh, index.html. So just to give you a reference of what we are going to make today, yeah, recording is on. So just to give you a reference, what we are going to make today is, let me just show you. So this is the page that we are going to make today. This TinDog homepage with this navigation bar. When you click on any of the buttons here, it will take you to that specific region. I have two buttons here for downloads from Android and Apple. So let's start making this by scratch. So let's go to the bootstrap.com. So because you know that Bootstrap is a front end simple framework for HTML and CSS, it has CSS and JS libraries. So we're going to start from here. We will take the version 5.0 because the documentation are a bit old and a bit easier there. So this is what we are going to do. First of all, inside index.html, let's get our boilerplate. So now what we are going to do, we are going to link some of the files, or I would say some of the scripts or some of the CSS files that we want. So first of all, get bootstrap.css. Let's go to the bootstrap.css, copy this, paste it here, and we can even remove uh, both of these, but let's let them stay there. So I got the Bootstrap 5.0.2 version here. I have included the Bootstrap CSS here. Let's add the JS file because of JS file, some of the functionality in the Bootstrap will not work. So we need the CSS file. Let's separate both these two also. Just follow along with the tutorial and you'll get to know how things are made in the end. So don't be scared to do anything here. Just relax and follow the tutorial. Now I'm going to create a comment here just to say that I created the bootstrap. Let's give it a bit space. Now let's add our own CSS link, style sheet. We also want some of the fonts from Google Fonts, so I'll show you the fonts that we want. So this is our own CSS. Let's create a comment here also. Now let's go to the Google Fonts and require the fonts that we need. Fonts. So the fonts that I want are basically the Montserrat font as well as the Ubuntu font. So there are basically two fonts that I want for this project. So let's go to Google Fonts and get those fonts. So first font that I want is Montserrat. Montserrat. We're gonna select all these fonts so that we have different options for these fonts. So let's just select all of these so we can have uh, different styles for the font, different boldness for the font. And the second font that I want is Ubuntu that I said. So let's go and search for that font also. Spelling Ubuntu. Yeah, this font. So what Google Fonts it does is that it creates a single link for both of the fonts. So we can just simply copy this link, paste it here, and we are good to go with the fonts. And we might need some icons, but we'll deal with that later. So let's start. In our body, first of all, I need to create a section. I'll give it a id of title. Okay, because in this I'm gonna have my title as well as my navbar. So I'll use this and let's go to Bootstrap. So what we want is uh, we want a navbar. In components, come down, there are navbars. So let's take one of the simple navbars and dynamic navbars that we need. So this navbar looks good. Let's see more navbar choices that we have. Okay, so yeah, so let's go with this one. Okay, let's go with this one. Let's copy and paste. So most of the navbar is going to be exactly the same, but what we are going to do is that we are going to remove this disabled link because we don't need that, and instead we will create this link which we need because we have three sections there: contact, pricing, as well as downloads. So let's change this to contacts. This is already pricing. Let's go to uh, let's create downloads. So we can just simply give them IDs of we'll give them IDs later because contact details will be in the footers, pricing details will be somewhere down the line in the website, and downloads will be at the end also. So we will do that later. So what I think is that I'm going to create a div here with class container fluid, and I'm going to put this navbar inside of that where the navbar went. Okay, now let's copy the link of this, and let's see how good it looks or how bad it is. That was the relative path. I have to copy the full path. Copy path. Now let's paste it in the browser. Let's go. So far so good. It's quite around my expectation. What I was what I was what I was asking for. So you already know that it is going to be from this to this. So let's start with the other sections. Let's just first of all let's format our navbar. So let's go to the CSS, CSS. I'm going to have some images in my navbar, no, in my title bar. So let's just format navbar a bit, then we'll do. So let's see that nothing is disabled here, right? Home, contact. The home has different color than that. So let's check home nav link active. So what we are going to do, I'm going to copy the active class and paste it inside each of every anchor tag that we have in the. So we are just going to apply the styles of the active class to all of these links, and now let's look at it. Yeah, see, much better. So the font of these is obviously going to change, so let's not stress it out a bit right now. Let's go to the CSS style.css. First of all, the title ID, I'm going to select that title. I'm going to give it a background color bgc ff4c68. Background current is going to be there, and the font will be white. So let's see how it looks. Okay, so yeah, so the background color is there, but the background of the navbar is background light or dark, so we are going to change that. So let's go to our index and let's see. remove the background class, and now let's see. Yeah, and the color is still not there, so let's check it why it's not there. Style overriding might have to do something with that, or or we have to define all of that as well. So for each and every anchor tag that I have, it's going to be less classes here. Nav item, this is going to be only nav link. To remove the active classes from there, because active class will apply its own style, which we don't want. We just want simple buttons. So let's see. Okay, but the text color is still not changed, so let's wait for a bit and see how we can fix that. Have opened something by mistake, so let's do support content. So let's do what we have to do. So I want my body of the whole document to have the font Montserrat, to font family Montserrat. Yeah, it's going to be sans serif, and the family is going to be Montserrat. Montserrat. Now for each paragraph that I have, I want its color to be somewhat gray. So that can be 8F, 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 and then 8F. So that's fine. Okay. For each H2 that I'm going to put in my website or web page, I wanted to have a font family. Going to open like that. So FF serif, I'm going to sans serif, or you can just simply say Montserrat, because I don't Montserrat. Bold, I want font weight to be bold, font size to be 3 rem, line height to be 1.25. And the container fluid that I have, container fluid that I have, I want it to have a padding of 3%, 15%, and 7%. Now let's see how our page looks. See, so we are actually going somewhere, from somewhere to we are actually making some progress. We got the heading part or the title part is started to look a bit like that. So now let's have a nav bar, navigation bar formatted. Let's format our nav bar. Okay, so first of all, this section in my CSS be for the uh, will be for the IDs. ID, like I'm going to define styles related to IDs here only in my website or web page, whatever you would like to call it. Now for the navigation bar, copy the same format, Ctrl C. Now let's create a nav bar according to us. Bar. Let's start. So first of all, I'm going to select the class navbar here, and I'm going to give it a padding of 0, 0, 0, 0, 4.5. There. The navbar brand is going to be the title, that big title in the navbar. So I wanted to have a font family. Uh, is there an option for Ubuntu? No. So which is a sans serif font, sans serif, and the font size that I want is around 2.5. Let's see how it looks now. See, the nav bar started to have a different kind of feel to it, because uh, our font is there now instead of the default Bootstrap font. So now let's go ahead. Bar. Now nav item. Now each nav item that I wanted to have a padding of 0 pixel top down and left to right 18 pixel. Nav link item that we have, I wanted to have the font family of Montserrat. Font family, I'm just gonna copy it from here. Montserrat, and font size to be 1.2 rem. Size to be 1.2 rem. Okay, so this is all the style for my navbar right now. Let's go check out the what is the what is the situation in our navbar. So let's refresh it. See, things are coming down a bit. See, so we still have to do some of the work here. So we surely do. So let's check if our page is dynamic or not. So let's squeeze it. Yeah, see, you can see that we got a hamburger menu right here. Okay, see, because our page is dynamic, because we have added Bootstrap to it. So let's just work on the color. Why the color is not loading there? Because title background color is loaded there, but I might have to say font color. I think that that should be the case, because color is the class that will put the color the font here, but maybe there is some Bootstrap class that is overriding it. So let's see in our index.html. Index.html. We change the navbar brand, print dog. We have print dog here, and let's see that what are the styles are here that are not overridden by the by our the by our styles. So let's see. Item collapse navbar id navbar supported contents. So we might need to edit some of the things here, because we don't want this div to be here. The class container fluid, we can get rid of it, because there is already divs. Maybe because of the okay, see, we are going to get figure out this. Section body, the font family Montserrat, it's all good. Title color should have been there. Let's see the navbar brand. Giraffe is nothing to me. So section ID, do some documentation here. To have a div with class row, inside that I'm going to have another div with class call large 6. Inside it I'm going to have an h1 with class big heading, and inside it I'm going to add some text like neat new and interesting dogs nearby. Okay. And after that h1 I'm going to add a button, to add a view button with class button, download button, btn btn dark btn the button is going to have the text download. Copy this button and paste it down there with a bit of different class. I'm going to add light here, and now I'm going to have two download buttons here. See, the text are loading here. The new and interesting dogs. I'm going to have that too. So it's starting to come together. Let's do another div with class column large 6. So what this column large 6 class does is that it divides the whole div into two divs of six sections, like a whole page has a length of 12 sections, and it will divide the whole parent div, the class row, into two equal divs. Okay, I'm going to add the image here. That image, I'm going to add the class to an image, which is title image. Title image. The source for the image is going to be the dog on the iPhone 6 image. Okay, so there is going to be an image, TechCrunch, tin dog icon. I'm going to add the tin dog icon image here. Tin dog. Let me navigate to the folder images / tin dog items. Tin dog icon. Let's save. Let's reload this page. Let's see. See, I'm going to resize this and reconfigure all of this. So just stay with me and we'll get through this. Okay, now let's do this. Now let's end this section. Nothing is retained in this section, so now we are going to add another section for features. But first, let's style all of this. So let's check it first that there is a section with ID title, and then there is a div class container with class container fluid, and then inside that we have our navbar expand large, navbar dark. We can do this Okay, so the dark navbar will have white colors, I guess. So let's just, yeah, see now our now our uh, now our the starting part or the starting of the page is started to looking a bit similar to what we have here, what we are going to make here. If you want this T, you can just easily do that by turning that T into a smaller T, and voila, we have it here. Let's refresh it. See, $10 is here. Home contact pricing. I'm going to know that. Now let's have only those fields that are required, so we don't need this one right here. I think that I don't even need that nav. I'm going to add just ml auto class here in this unordered list, and it's just this. This, yeah. So let's check it out. See, we only have all this. We just need to uh, have some gap in this, and will be good. Now let's go and style this part here. So in my style.css, now first we can style the download buttons that we have in there. So I'm going to use same style for every download button that I have in my website. So let's just download buttons. Let's have the download button class here. Give it a margin of 5%, 3%, 5%, and 0. So now let's see how it looks. Refresh it. See, the buttons are starting to look a lot like what we have. See, stay with me and we'll have all that figured out. Now for the title image. Now we are going to define some styles for the title image. Okay, title image. Now take the title image class, title image class, give it a width of 50% because we don't want it to take up whole screen. Now we can transform it to rotate 25 degree, that we have 25 degree. See, and I wanted to have a position of absolute, absolute position absolute, and I'm going to have it a margin from right of 22%. Right side of it to be 22%. So let's see how it looks now. See, it's it's really big, and uh, I'm going to have it toned down a bit. So just wait and see. I'm going to give it a width of 20%. Let's see. Yep, much better. We can even give it a smaller width, I guess, to fit our page. The width here is going to be according to us, like we what we want it to look like. So if I give it a width of 15%, then it's look a bit much. It looks much better. Okay, so let's keep it that way. So I'll give it a width of 15% right now. I'll rotate it a bit to the left side, so I'll change the rotation degree from 25 degrees to 22 degrees. And if you save it and refresh the page, see, I'm going to have it rotate a bit. Also, I'm going to give it a value of just 18 degrees. Let's see, and voila, it's uh, it's quite good right now. But the what I think is that the fonts and colors are not loading somewhat, and I don't think that should be because of this, but I think that it could be because of that, because I didn't had a comma in there. Let's see, meet new and interesting dogs nearby, and our home page is somewhat started to look uh, more like what we wanted it to be, right? Let's go to our. So now I'm going to define some features. Inside of that, we should have the favicons link. I have older links to the favicon that I would provide you in the description, and I would say, because this tutorial is being made today and we are not using currently using favicons, so I would highly suggest you to copy that particular link to get a similar result that I have. But if you want to experiment around a little bit, you can do it by yourself. Okay, so let's have the features part. Now I'm going to divide it also into a section with the id features. Features. I'm going to have a div with class row, because I'm going to have the data in 3 or 4 rows, like in 3 or 4 columns. There are actually 12 columns in a web page, and I'm going to divide in a 12 columns into 3 parts. So I'm going to give each div 4 columns of space. Let's do this. I'm going to have a div with class feature box, because I'm going to be designing it according to me, and then I'll have give it the class column large and 4. I require 3 of those divs inside that row div. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to copy this div and paste it 3 more times. Easy. See, let's add some data in these divs. Now above that I am going to have an icon, so I'm leaving space for that. So I'm going to add an h3, which will say easy to easy to use. These are the features of my app, easy to use, and under that I'm going to have a paragraph.